Well, on September 5th of last year, he announced that the program protecting those young people would expire as of Monday of this week, 2 days ago. And as of that date, he said if Congress hasn't replaced the DACA program with something new, something legal, something statutory, there would be no protection for these DACA recipients as their protective status expired. 800,000 of them in limbo, uncertainty as to their future. Well, the president challenged Congress, and a number of us took him up on the challenge. 6 of us, 3 Democrats and 3 Republican senators, sat down for months. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina was part of that group, a Republican. Jeff Flake of Arizona, part of that group, a Republican. Cory Gardner of Colorado, a Republican. And on our side, Michael Bennet of Colorado, a Democrat. Bob Menendez of New Jersey, a Democrat. And we worked out a bipartisan agreement among us that not one of us would have written. It was a compromise in trying to meet the president's challenge of replacing DACA with something that could be the law of the land and work. I reflect on that effort and believe it was a good one. It was certainly in good faith, and it was bipartisan. And when we presented it to President Trump on January the 11th at 12 noon, I remember this time very specifically, he rejected it. He not only rejected that bipartisan solution to the crisis he had created, he rejected 5 others, bipartisan proposals to try to resolve the crisis that he had created in eliminating the DACA program. So here we are just 2 days after his March 5th deadline. And where do we stand? Well, the situation's been complicated by 3 federal courts who've been asked to review President Trump's decision abolishing DACA. 2 of those courts have issued injunctions and said to the Trump administration, stop what you're doing. You've got to prove to us you have the legal authority to end this program the way you ended it. There's an injunction stopping the Trump administration from doing what the president said he would do. Now, the president's administration didn't think much of those courts and decided to file an extraordinary appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court across the street to knock down this injunction and to go forward with closing down DACA. Just 2 weeks ago, the Supreme Court rejected Attorney General Sessions' petition. So here we stand. The president has abolished the DACA program, the protection for 800,000 young people from being deported, the protection that allowed them to work, is officially, from President Trump's point of view, abolished. It has not been replaced. The deadline has been reached, and it's being argued in court. So how much protection does that buy for the 800,000? We don't know. We know it is a court-based protection, an injunction that could last for weeks or months or even longer. But that uncertainty is what's hanging over this whole debate. So this morning I called the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Kirstjen Nielsen, and I asked her, explain to me what your department is doing because of these court injunctions and this President Trump's decision to abolish this program. She gave me a partial explanation. In fairness to her, she promised to get back to me and even promised to come up here to Capitol Hill next week and try to explain in more detail how the Department of Homeland Security is handling this. For example, if you were protected by DACA, a young person, and if the president's abolition of DACA did not allow you to renew your DACA application when it expired, what is your status? Can you be deported? Secretary Nielsen told me point blank, no, we will not deport those who have pending DACA applications. I then asked the next question, do you have the authority to allow these same people to continue legally working as they did under DACA? She didn't know the answer, and in fairness to her, she said she would look into it and get back to me. And I look forward to that happening. It's a sad situation that this Congress can't pass a law to deal with this kind of emergency. Ask the American people what they think. about dreamers, what they think about young people brought to the United States as children, infants, and babies, and who are asking for a chance to be legal in America, to become citizens. Ask Americans what they think. Overwhelmingly, they say, of course, why would you punish these children who grew up in this country,